After spending Christmas in Krabi, I needed to leave the country to re-enter on a new visa exemption. So I took the opportunity to visit a friend in Malaysia. After New Year's Eve, I flew back to Thailand and continued my travels right where I left off, heading to the islands of Phuket and Koh Phangan.
Go back.
Jetzt gehe ich erstmal zum harteren Knock. I am still on Koh Phangan, exploring the area around Riddim. Famous for its full moon parties, this tropical island offers diverse options to shape the vacation of your dreams. Half of the island, over 80 square kilometers, is designated as a national park. Beyond the stunning scenery and lush jungles, the island is home to a thriving industry for spiritual retreats and meditation. The majority of the inhabitants live on the coastline due to the island's topography. The increasing number of tourists, around 500,000 visitors every year, poses a significant threat to the environment, with around 7,500 tons of solid waste produced annually.
Dieses Hotel hat definitiv die besten Zeiten schon hinter sich. Das war mal eine richtig geile Anlage hier. Das war kein Hotel, das war ein Beach Club. Ja, auf jeden Fall gibt es das nicht mehr. Ich gucke jetzt mal, ob ich Coral Bungalows noch finde, ob es das noch gibt.
I spent a few days on the side of the island on my first visit to Thailand back in 2017.
Gefunden. Mal gucken, wie die Anlage heute aussieht. Kommt mir sehr bekannt vor.
Since then, Koh Phangan has had me returning for its stunning beaches and flourishing flora and fauna. In the evening, there was an organized trip to the night market in Thong Salah, which most people from the hostel joined.
Das ist eine gute Idee ist hier, Alter. I'm not convinced this is a good idea, bro.
Sometimes you really have to step out of your comfort zone and live in the moment instead of doubting everything and thinking about possible consequences. The boat took us to the Eden Garden, a remote jungle location accessible only by boats nowadays.
It doesn't get any sketchier than that.
You really have to watch your steps, walk into the location over some steep and sharp rocks.
What the fuck?
I can see why people hurt them here.
Like in clubs back home, filming during the event was not allowed, so I just took a few sneaky snapshots to show you the location.
Ich guck mal, ob ich ein Boot nach Hause bekomme. Das war ja vorhin schon scheiße sketchy. Mal sehen, wie das jetzt wird.
And the sea was even rougher than on the way there. Nevertheless, a few minutes later, we found ourselves in the boat again, steering into the pitch-black sea.
Shall we
Get up higher, I guess.
The next morning, I joined some girls from the hostel on their excursion to the nearby Paradise waterfall.
Past comes back to life. Fight fear for the selfish pain. It was worth it every time.
And I think we can all agree, refreshing in the pools is always the best part. And so, Aline, Keely, Zora and I jumped into the waters.
Breaks your glass and I drown in you again. 'Cause you are
In the late afternoon, we returned to Riddim to watch the sunset and then went back to the reggae bar just around the corner from our accommodation. And surprise, we all ended up at the beach again, where we had just watched the sunset a little earlier.
We were in this beach just hours ago, and now we are here again.
Yeah.
This is the perfect example of coming somewhere alone as a stranger and leaving the very same place with a bunch of new friends from all over the world. The following day, I was socializing at the hostel, and since the heat was unbearable, people just wanted to go to the beach and cool down in the ocean. Not an easy task when the ocean waters are as warm as a bath. But we're complaining on a very high level here. I wanted to keep exploring and found a wooden path at the end of the beach.
Keine Ahnung, wo ich hier hinlaufe, aber ich fand den Walk so cool. Hier wollte ich mal gucken, was hier ist.
Lila Beach is one of 3 beaches in close proximity to Riddim. The other 2 are Riddim Knock and Sunset Beach, which we visited earlier on this trip. Koh Phangan has its own unique charm. The vibe is very different from its sister islands Samui and Tao. Riddim itself, when not overcrowded during the full moon, is a laid-back town on the southernmost tip of the island.
Dog Zone.
Despite hosting the biggest and most famous beach party in the world, Riddim Knock can actually feel like a retreat from all this madness in between these weeks. Since a few of us were leaving the following day, our host Julius motivated most of his hostel guests to go to the reggae bar again. He and his lovely volunteers really did a great job of making my time here memorable. And as much as I would have loved to stay, I felt another island calling me. One that had my heart since my first visit. And those of you who know me have probably already guessed it. I'm talking about Turtle Island. Koh Tao got its name from local fishermen who thought the island's shape resembled a turtle when approached from the sea. I am back again on the most isolated island in the Gulf, yet still boasting high tourist numbers in the high season. Welcome to Koh Tao, a pearl in the Gulf like no other.
Ja, Koh Tao war jetzt ein bisschen teurer. Da habe ich ein geiles großes Zimmer mit Balkon. Hier ist das Badezimmer. Das geht auch klar.
To give you an idea, on 28th of July 23, the island reported over 3,000 tourists arriving by boat in a single day. To put this in perspective, with the island only having around 1,400 permanent residents, this will definitely damage the island in the near future if people don't act responsibly and sustainably when visiting. It is such a beautiful place, and it should be our intention to keep it that way for generations to come. Wasn't the only one leaving Phangan for Tao. I managed to meet up with a few people from the Funky Monkey hostel again. Nico from Venezuela, Keely from Australia, Pauline from France and Zora from Germany. And guess who else I ran into?
Da fährst du nichts an nach Koh Tao und wer kommt mir auf einmal entgegen? Sean und seine Leute sind jetzt auch hier.
Welt ist klein.
Welt ist klein, ja.
Together, we all watched the Ladyboy Cabaret, which is always a very entertaining performance. Running into Sean again was another perfect example of the banana pancake trail. People all kind of take the same path traveling through Thailand. But to be fair, there's not much off the beaten path left in a country that received up to 40 million tourists a year pre-COVID. And even more so, I'm doing the same thing for the third time. There's nothing wrong with doing what brings you joy, right?
Von wegen Pandemie nicht überlebt. War nur Off-Season.
I guided Sean to the Fishbowl Bar, probably the most famous beach bar on the island. After an amazing first day back on Koh Tao, I made my way home along the beautiful promenade of the Sari beach area.
Hier ist wieder mein Lieblingshügel.
Morgen hole ich mir auch wieder eine Rolle.
Since I'd taken my drone with me on this trip, I decided to revisit some of the places I'd been to about a year ago. Nevertheless, a bird's eye view always looks even more impressive since you really get a feel for the surrounding area. Back on the ground, Sean picked me up on the back of his scooter.
Interessant, wie weit es ausgesehen hat, aber es ist...
Ja, weil es kreuz und quer, mal links, rechts geht, ne?
Die reden hier wieder Kauderwelsch.
And introduced me to his travel companion Raoul.
Schweizerdeutsch.
Together, we went to Shark Bay. And next to some oceanside bungalows was a makeshift path to enter the ocean.
Das wäre hier auch schon wieder nicht erlaubt in Deutschland. Ohne Absperrung, ohne alles.
Ja, wirklich.
It's the perfect snorkel spot on Koh Tao, with shallow crystal clear waters and coral reefs attracting various species. At this spot, we met a German couple who had just pointed out a sea turtle.
Haben wir gerade eine Schildkröte gesehen. Wenn mir Paul das Material gibt, dann kommt die sogar ins Video.
Energized for a while after our snorkeling activities and decided to drive back to the town center to refresh and get ready for the evening. Back near the Mayhat Pier area where my hostel was located, I enjoyed some dinner and received some messages from Sean and Raoul, who asked me to join them at their hostel a while later. From my hostel to the main district, it was a good 20-minute walk. But I really enjoyed this, and with a cold beer, distances always just seem half as far.
Groß wurde zwischen Ausländern, wo nicht so viel haben, drum ständig unter Druck, weil wir alle nur ein Ziel haben. Die machst es wenig viel, gilt das was so im Quartier lernst. Scheiß mal auf, der Stutz braucht der Respekt, wo wir
I picked the guys up at the Revolution Hostel, and we walked back to the Fishbowl Bar for another good night out on the island of unwritten dreams.
Es ist jeden Tag immer das Gleiche da, wir fragen aber Alter ein. vergessen, dass ich dich hasse. Doch leider ist der Hass das, was mich fit macht. Weiß nicht, ob das verstehen kannst. Denn langsam haben wir satt, nur hinten anzustehen. Homie, immer wieder nur sehen, man kommt Belohnung. Hören wieder Sirene, doch wie wir's gewohnt sind, find ich wieder mein Frieden.
Raoul was in Thailand for some Muay Thai training, so this was our last evening together before he would continue his routines.
Hören wieder Sirene, doch wie wir's gewohnt sind, find ich wieder mein Frieden, erst wenn der Kopf nickt und der Block nickt mit.
Gatorade, irgendwas zum Snacken.
I was dead tired and definitely a bit tipsy, so I wasn't in for any experiments and went for the typical backpacker special. And I still can't get over the fact that they prepare your food ready to eat, in store for no extra charge. Sari Beach, the longest beach on Koh Tao, and in my opinion one of the most beautiful in all of Thailand. The setting with Koh Phangan on the horizon, the colorful sunset in the evening, and the fact of where you are on this planet always gave me goosebumps. Just swimming and snorkeling here is an experience in itself. Back at Mehat Pier, I decide to switch my accommodation to the other side of town to be closer to the evening spots.
Bin jetzt gerade umgezogen hier auf Koh Tao und das ist mein neues Zimmer. Kostet 25 € die Nacht und ist diesmal direkt auf der anderen Seite von Sari Beach.
I still had my scooter rented for a few more days, and since this was a new skill I had just unlocked on this trip, I wanted to explore all the places I hadn't been to on my previous visits. So I teamed up with Sean again and cruised over the beautiful island roads to the southernmost tip of the island. We arrived at Freedom Beach.
Egal wo Flo ist, ich bin da, Bruder.
Tucked away behind and under some palm trees lies a beautiful, calm beach. We enjoyed the area for a while, refreshed ourselves in the ocean, and after the midday heat had passed, decided to move on to one of the highest viewpoints on the island.
Da steht auch ein No-Mo dabei. Beware slow. Ja, dann komm.
We decided to attempt to ride this climb on our bikes, but soon realized we couldn't make it to the top without human effort, so we had to get off our bikes and walk.
Nein! Das ist viel zu steil, Mann. Guck dir das mal an.
As a reward, you get one of the most beautiful views over Koh Phangan and the whole Sari Beach area.
Es ist so steil hier. Hier sind wir gerade nicht mal mit den Rollern mehr hochgekommen. Und der Sean hat sein Handy auf dem Roller liegen lassen, aber es ist noch da.
Nice! Alter, was ein Akt!
Die anderen zwei vor uns waren, die sind extrem schnell gefahren.
Ja, die kennen sich hier auch offensichtlich aus, ne? Alter, ich falle gleich vorne über den Roller, so steil ist das hier.
On the way back, while I was not recording, Sean suddenly slipped with his bike.
Kommt der Sliding Champion.
Hey!
Da war ich gerade froh, dass du nicht auf die Fresse gefallen bist, ehrlich gesagt.
Ich auch, das war wirklich knapp.
Weil in dem Moment, wo der hinterher blockiert hat, hast du ja keine Kontrolle mehr, ne?
Ich sagte dir noch nicht, das weg.
Ja, und ich dachte, und jetzt passiert's, Alter. Nee, ist ja auch alles gut gegangen. Du hast das ja gemeistert wie ein Profi. Ja, das hätte schief gehen können. Aber wir haben es ja geschafft, wir sind ja jetzt unten.
A little shocked at how quickly these accidents can happen, we debated whether to go to the next site or have lunch first.
Was im Kopf, wo wir essen wollen?
Wir könnten nochmal zum Laden gehen, wo wir das geile Chicken hatten. Wenn du da nochmal Bock drauf hättest, das koreanische.
Könnten wir machen, ja?
And if you think there's barely any traffic on the islands, even here, they have something like a rush hour when people come back from the beaches and day trips. We decided to have lunch first and went to a place I found around a year ago offering delicious Thai-Korean fusion food.
Lasst es euch schmecken.
Schön thailändisch Schlemm hier, Fritten und Hähnchen.
Fritten und Hähnchen. Und was ist das für Soße?
Knoblauch.
Knoblauch?
Ist das wieder Freedom Beat? Da hätten wir an der großen Kreuz nach links gemusst wahrscheinlich, kann das sein?
Ich benutze mal mein Navi.
Ja, mach mal.
You wouldn't believe it, but even on the tiniest island, I'll find a way to get lost. But you know what? It is part of the experience of not always knowing, and giving in to the adventures of exploring the unknown far away from the routines and duties you have back home. And with every little one of these experiences, we learn and grow. And this is what makes travel so valuable to me, even if I tend to revisit places I already know at times. It's the freedom they make me feel, and the emotions they unleash.
Ich glaube, links ist fast schöner, aber.
Steht auch da, Welcome Freedom Bar in Wong Beach.
We stopped at the beautiful Freedom Bar Community Art Project. A place that invites you to just relax, have a drink or smoke, and enjoy the stunning setting.
Das ist mein kleiner Flitzer hier.
The weather forecast showed rain in the afternoon, so we made our way back to the center before the streets became slippery. We made a short detour to look for a nice sunset spot, but decided to just return the scooters for the rest of the day, grab some beers and walk down to Sari Beach. Tomorrow would be my last day on the island, and so Sean and I decided to check out the pub crawl later.
The last time you guys can say those words this evening. If you're caught saying those and the very selfish word mine, that is also the last time you guys can say those words this evening.
I was never a big fan of the concept of pub crawls, but have attended some in Spain and Croatia myself. I personally enjoy being able to switch places whenever I like to more than being with big groups of people. To easily meet like-minded travelers and get drunk together, it's definitely still your way to go though. Sean and I decided to move on and do our own pub crawl, and our first pub was a 7-Eleven.
Sean kauft gerade Bier.
Second and last one was Sean's hostel. It's always funny when you remember a place while traveling, when you remember that you already made this crazy journey once and flew about 10,000 kilometers just to stand in a spot, and now you're actually really here again. I just wish I could skip the commute. The cheerful way Thai people approach life and live in the moment and do not think about the future as we do has deeply impressed me. We managed to make our way to another viewpoint before I had to return my scooter to the rental company at Mehat Pier. Just as the sky seemed to prepare a perfect last sunset on Koh Tao for us, the weather suddenly changed completely.
Ja, da bin ich gerade noch Roller gefahren und schon durch die Straße ein einziger Fluss. Die beiden warten auf den Regen ab. Ich zu Hause mal gucken, was das für ein Vogel ist. Man hat ziemlich häufig im Urlaub gesehen.
But this was just a short glitch in the Matrix, and half an hour later we were back to sunny beach vibes.
Da ist noch Sonnenuntergang und da kommt die Regenfront auf uns zu. Es wird gleich wieder so schiffen. Keine 5 Minuten später sieht es so aus.
With the weather being a mess, I decided to go back to my accommodation and get my bags packed for my departure tomorrow morning.
Die Restaurants haben alle zu inzwischen. Aber ich zeige jetzt mal die Partystraße.
There was a time I used to look into my father's eyes.
I was looking for some food on the promenade and was about to meet up with Sean again for a last time before he boarded the night ferry to the mainland.
Those days are gone.
After we parted, I strolled one last time through the nightlife of Koh Tao and watched the people who had just arrived experience the exact same spiral of joy we all had experienced in the last days. I enjoyed some last live music at the Fishbowl Bar.
Upon a hill across the blue lake, that's where I had my first heartbreak.
And when I was just about to leave, I ran into the Swedish girls again that I had met around Christmas in Aonang.
Don't you worry, child. See, heaven's got a plan for you. Don't you worry now. Yeah.
And once more, it was slowly but surely time to say goodbye to Koh Tao. It doesn't get any easier to make choices like this with so many like-minded travelers in the country influencing your decisions. So for me, it was bad instead of Jungle Rave tonight.
Dschungeltaxis fahren noch immer hier.
I'm leaving Koh Tao to go back to the neighboring island of Koh Samui again. With 2 more weeks ahead, I decide to head to the Ranong province and have a full week on Koh Phangan. I explore most of the tiny island within this time, before finally going back to Bangkok to end my journey.